भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनऊ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
जय श्री कृष्ण। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। On the behalf of Geeta Parivar, I, Arya Indani, welcome all the respected members and Krishna Premis in this grand Geeta interpretation session of Chapter 8. To begin with this pious program, I would like to invite Shailaja ji from Bangalore, who is Techno Star since Feb 2023.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Didi. Deepajyotir Parabrahma, Deepajyote Janardana, Deepo me haratu papam, Deepajyote namostute. Light is the divine symbol of knowledge and positivity. Hence, to spread this energy in the form of lamp lightning, I would like to invite Manisha ji from Pune, who is assisted since March 2022 in both the sectors of tech and training.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Didi. Come, let's become a Geeta Sevi. To know about your sector of talent, procedures to open your doors to the Seva, and understand the roles and responsibilities of different Sevas, attend the session of Geeta Sevi tomorrow, 2nd July, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. in both English as well as Hindi language. We, the learners of Geeta, are always seeking good guidance. Today, it's our honor to have one of those incredible speakers with us, Shraddha Raodeo from Hyderabad. She has been conducting Bhagavad Gita classes since past 9 years. Being disciple of Swami Govind Dev Giri Ji Maharaj, she is currently a trainer for Bhopal JE class and also manages a lots of sectors extraordinarily. I request Didi to please take over the platform.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful start for the session with a beautiful Deep Prajvalan and a lovely prayer. We are in the middle of a very beautiful chapter. And before we begin with the discussion today, let us take blessings from Krishna Ji and Param Puja Swami Govind Dev Giri Ji Maharaj. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Haraye Paramatmane, Pranatah Kleshanashaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayana Swayam, Vyasena Kratitam Purana Muninam मध्ये Mahabharatam, Advaitamritavarshiniം Bhagavati Ashtadasha Dhyayinim, Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavadgīte Bhavatveshim. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. So very warm welcome to this session again. We all are in the middle of discussing a very beautiful, very important and a difficult chapter. But with the blessings of Swamiji, we all have sailed through the first two sessions and have a very beautiful understanding of the basic shlokas and have a basic idea about what this chapter is all about. So far we have seen, before I begin with the discourse also, in case if am I audible? Somebody can just...
Yes, Didi, absolutely.
Okay, if there are any disconnections, if I'm not audible by any chance, please drop a message in the chat room. Let us begin. So far we have seen in the 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga, Shri Krishna has been asked 7 questions by Arjun, and we have seen Shri Krishna has answered the first 6 questions, which were some basic definitions about Brahma in brief. And the 7th question, Shri Krishna has been answering elaborately. He has elaborately discussed the answer of the he has elaborately discussed the 7th answer, and we are in the middle of this beautiful discussion around the question where Shri Krishna is telling. At the time, the 7th question was about how should a state of a person be when the soul is leaving the body. When the soul is leaving the body, Shri Krishna has explained very beautifully the thought that the person has in his mind. When the soul is departing from the body, he attains the same bhav, similar kind of body in the next birth. And to get a beautiful birth for the betterment of our selves, to get moksha, to attain freedom from this cycle of birth and death, Shri Krishna has given a very important trick, important information for us, how we can get over this. That is by remembering him all the time. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. He has very beautifully explained that if all the time you are going to remember me, there will be no situation at the time when the body is when the soul is departing from the body. He is going to be thinking about Shri Krishna, about God himself, and the soul will finally attain the God himself. Now, we were at a point where we have seen some very critical shlokas about how a person can get freedom from this world. A very important word that Shri Krishna has used here is dukkhalayam. How Shri Krishna has described the world that we live in as a dukkhalaya. That is a place which is an abode of what? Of pain. And to get freedom from this, he has told we should try to remember him all the time. Further, Shri Krishna has told that everybody, from a small ant till the biggest creature that we can think about, everybody is stuck in this cycle of birth and death. Further, today we are going to see some important shlokas where Shri Krishna is going to explain us a Kala Ganana, how time is calculated in Brahma, in terms of Brahma, and further how we can free ourselves from this cycle of death and birth. So let's begin with the shlokas today. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhum Ratri Yuga Sahasrantan Deho Ratro Vido Janaham. Here Shri Krishna is telling us about Srishti and Pralay. Srishti is the nature that we see around us, the creations that we see around us, the beautiful earth that we are seeing around us is the Srishti. And Pralay is the dissolution of this entire Srishti. How is this going to happen? How is this, how long does the creation remain? And where do we fit into this entire play that that God has created around us? Here in this particular shlok, first let us understand some very basic definitions. Here, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. What is a yuga? We all know that we recently celebrated Ekadashi, Badi Ekadashi, people say, where we believe that God goes to sleep. This is the time when Dakshinayan begins, where the sun is in the southern hemisphere. The Dakshinayan begins, and it is believed that gods sleep during this time. This is a part. And then the remaining time from Makar Sankranti till this Ekadashi, from the Makar Sankranti, the Uttarayan begins. That is the time when gods wake up. This is the day for the gods. Now, this Dakshinayan and Uttarayan together constitute our 1 year. However, for God, this entire year is just 1 day. And how calculations go for Brahmaji? Our years, let us talk in our years. We are talking of, we all know we are in Kali Yuga right now, isn't it? The span of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. The total span of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. Now there are 4 yugas we know: Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, then Satya Yuga. Now in the Kali Yuga, whatever is the time for the Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. Dwapar is double this time, that is 8,64,000 years. Then comes the Treta Yuga, which is again double this number. Treta Yuga is 17,28,000 years. And the Satya Yuga is the longest span, double of the Treta Yuga, that is 34,56,000 years is Satya Yuga. These all 4 yugas together form one Chatur Yuga. And the total span comes to 43,20,000 years. This entire span of Chatur Yuga is 43,20,000 years. 1,000 such yugas, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. 1,000 such Chatur Yuga will constitute of what? 1 day of Brahma. And then 1,000 more will become 1 night. So, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharya, that is 1 day. Similarly, 1 night. And then after these 100 such years of Brahmaji is the complete life of one Brahma. So, how things go is one Brahmaji is there. His span of rule or control is for 100 years. Then a new Brahmaji comes, so on and so forth. So this is what Shri Krishna explains here. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. Ratri Yuga Sahasrantan. Again, the same thing, 1,000 Chatur Yugas form 1 night. Deho Ratra Vido Janaha. This is the understanding that the knowledgeable people have about the day and night of Brahmaji. And what happens is, as the day begins, now see this from this entire calculation, we also have to look at it from one perspective, the vastness of the time. See, if we see, look at our own existence on this earth, a few years, the average lifespan, say 80 years to 100 years. 100 is the max that a human being will live. Now, people, when we talk about our own experiences, I have 13 years of experience, 15 years of experience. When you look at these calculations in our Vedas, in our scriptures, these calculations give us an idea of how minuscule we are, how we are like, dust particles. The earth itself, if you look at earth is a small speck. Even in the solar system, it is one of the not very big planets. Then Milky Way, in Milky Way solar system itself is very small. And if you compare the presence of Earth in this entire Milky Way galaxy, how is the presence of Earth? Earth is like a dust particle. Our existence on this Earth, it's also like a dust particle. So if you look at ourselves, a dust particle on a dust particle in this entire universe, what should be the ego or be all about? Is there anything that we should, have an ego about? My so many years of experience, the wealth that I have accumulated in our 40 years. Look at the span that we are living in. Looking at these scriptures, we will understand how minuscule everything is, how small, how timid we all are. And this is why we should understand. Geeta ji helps us to reduce our ego. When we understand these concepts, when we understand how limited our time span on this earth is, how, in terms of, we are not even 1 second of Brahmaji. The existence is so timid, so insignificant if you look at it. What is the ego all about? We all should think about it. And this is how Geeta ji is going to help us reduce the ego in our lives. But the Shri Krishna explains this entire thing. Now we know that this is the day, this is the night. What is happening in these days and nights of Brahmaji? Avyaktad vyaktayah sarva prabhavantyah ragame ratriagame praliyante tatraiva vyakta sanjake. Avyaktat, from avyakta. Now, what is the meaning of this avyakta? Avyakta is unmanifested, something that is not easily visible, not visible at all, something that cannot be felt or understood by our sense organs. That is avyakta. Now, we all know there is air around us, but we know in this air, is it only air around us? No, there's water also in that air. Water is in this avyakta form. It is present. However, what is the thing? It is present, but we cannot understand that it is present. So it is in avyakta form. Air is also having dust particles. Dust particles are in the avyakta form. We cannot see it, but it is there. We all know it is there. From such, this is only to understand the meaning of the word avyakta. Now, in this avyakta, from this form, from this subtle substance, not even a substance, from this subtle spirit, what is happening? The entire creation is being created. Avyaktad vyaktaya sarva. Vyaktaya means it is getting manifested, it is getting created. Prabhavantyah ragame. When Brahmaji's day begins, what happens? The creations are created. Ratriagame praliyante tatraiva vyakta sanchake. Very beautiful shloka. What happens when the day of Brahmaji begins? This entire Srishti. Now, by the Srishti, it doesn't mean only the world that we live in. See, it's like, the frog in a well. The only world that we know about, that it knows is the well. Similar thing for us, we have a very limited understanding of the world around us. When the creation that Shri Krishna is talking about here is so much beyond our imagination. Numerous Milky Ways, numerous galaxies, and this vast universe, this entire creation is created at the onset of the day. Now, to understand this, let us take a very small daily life example. There is something called, see, the pralay that is explained here. Pralay means everything getting dissolved, everything becoming, disappearing again into the avyakta. The pralay is of different types. We will not go into too many details of that, but to understand this concept better, let us see what is Nitya Pralay. Nitya, we all know, means regular, which is happening on a daily, regular basis. Nitya Pralay is what happens with us during the day and night. What happens? We are getting up every morning and doing all our activities. That is the time our Srishti, our world is getting created. Whatever activities we are doing, whatever interactions we are having with our nature, that is the world that is created, Srishti created for us. Then what happens? Nitya Pralay is the night that comes. We all go to sleep. What is happening to the world? The body is lying on the bed. The body is there in the room, but where are we? We don't have any idea. At that point of time, everything around us is absent. It has disappeared. That disappearance is temporary, but everything has disappeared. We know that. So this is a Nitya Pralay. There is a complete absence of all activities. There is a complete, we kind of forget what are the different things around us, and we are in a different trance state. And again, when the new day begins, when we are awake, everything comes back to life. This is how the Nitya Pralay is. Daily we experience this kind of Pralay. This explains that the Srishti coming up at the onset of the day, the Pralay happening at the end of the night. This is what we experience. Similar thing happens when Brahmaji's day is happening. Now remember, again, Brahmaji's day is beyond our calculations. Okay, 43 lakh 20,000 is one yug. That into 1,000 is one day. And so many, multiplied that by 360 to make that 1 year of Brahmaji, and multiply that by 100. You do those calculations. Okay, very tough for me. And that into 360 to get 1 year, that into 1,000. So many human years will be one span of the day of Brahmaji. Now, when his day begins, everything comes into life. And when the Pralay happens, what is that Pralay? The night begins. After these so many countless numbers of years have finished, this entire Srishti will have again dissolve into this avyakta, unmanifested form. That is Ratriagame Praliyante Tatraiva Vyakta Sainjaki. Again, it becomes extinct, it becomes non-existence. Now, when everything is dissolving back into the avyakta, how, let's look at it from one more perspective. We see now it is the rainy season. In the rainy season, you see small insects coming from nowhere. We don't know from where these insects are coming and what is their source. They come, their lifespan is few hours, a couple of hours. They live for a couple of hours, and then what happens? They dissolve into nothing. They die, and their Srishti is ending there. We are seeing as spectators what we see, that they came, the extent, but again, in sometimes newer insects are born. Newer and newer insects are born. Now, this is what is happening. If you see a new insect being born, and so this lifespan, within that one day, how many times the Srishti, the coming and the Pralay of those insects we are getting to see. So expanding that in imagination, see, this understanding this chapter will need lot of imagination. So with best possible imagination, you think about it from this perspective, how to understand this Srishti and Pralay. So when the Brahmaji's night becomes similar to how the insects are getting extinct, the Srishti, this entire creation, is also getting dissolved. Now, whatever, when I say dissolving, very limited knowledge we have. Now, at the moment, what the scientists are trying to do is trying to understand the world which is existing now, at the moment. If you look at it from a long-term perspective, see how dynamic this entire thing is. It is not going to, this knowledge is also not going to remain constant, whatever the scientists are going to find out. What we are learning from the Vedas, this is the permanent knowledge and the eternal knowledge. There is a small, call it a joke with Brahmaji's, this entire story of day and night. Once there was a devotee. So this devotee was talking to Brahma. He prayed to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji was very happy with him. He said, "Okay, ask me what you want. What you want? Tell me. I'll give you a boon." And this Bhakta said, "See, my one day, it is so insignificant for you. It is less than 1 second also for you. My 1 year is just hardly anything for you. You're so everything that is, the definition of time that we discussed now. My 1 yuga is your my 1,000 yugas is your 1 day. My 1 little second is nothing for you. So if your 1 second is so much for me, your 1 paisa, your money, your 1 paisa will be so much money in human terms." Brahmaji said, "Right. My 1 second is so many years for you. My 1 paisa is uncountable money for you." So the devotee said, "Okay, Brahmaji, you give me 1 paisa only. Not asking for too much wealth, just 1 paisa you give me." Brahmaji said, "Okay, you give me my 1 second. I will give you the money that you want." Now imagine Brahmaji's 1 second. This is on a lighter note because the topic is a little serious and difficult to understand. But that is the magnitude of the time that Shri Krishna has explained here. Further he says, "Bhutakramasayevayam bhutva praliyate ratriagameva shakpartha prabhavatyah ragame." Now, Bhutagrama means this entire group of beings. Bhuta means everything that is existing, not just human beings. Okay, for human beings, the existence of living creatures is just us, but not just us. All the char achar, all the living, non-living things. Bhuta means the living things, but everything that is around us is what? Created. Bhutva praliyate. They are born again and again. And what happens? They are praliyate. They are also getting dissolved. They are born again and again and getting dissolved. Just like how we spoke about those insects. Within a day, you don't know how many times, assuming the same insect is, taking the birth in the same yoni, how many times the insect can take birth. Similarly, all this group of creatures, all these group of Bhutagrama, they are constantly taking birth. They are born again and again and also dissolving. When Ratriagame, when the Ratri comes, when the night begins, when the night comes, what happens? They dissolve. And at the time we have seen, when the day becomes, what happens? Prabhavati aha agame. Prabhavati means they come into existence. They come forth. They come into existence. Prabhavati aha agame. Prabha means they are coming into existence when the day starts. Now, either natural question that comes to the mind is, what is this, Brahmaji Govi, what is this creation? This is a very natural process. Now, if we say we have taken birth, we are breathing, will we ask, why are you breathing? It's a natural thing, swabhav. It is by nature. Now, when some people will say, I become very angry, it is my nature to become angry, they'll say. Similarly, this entire creation and dissolution, this is, Swamiji says, Leela is something that it comes naturally to a person. This is happening naturally. So what is the thing here? It is naturally happening. Avashaha. This cannot be altered. Avasha, it is beyond the control of anybody. It is naturally happening. It is a natural behavior. It is a natural occurrence that is happening, creation and these dissolutions. And when this is a natural cycle, we cannot say that there is one form, there is some part which is remaining constant, that is the avyakta form. For instance, look at the ice. When water solidifies, when the temperature changes, the ice is there. Can you deny the presence of water in ice? No. Now this ice is solidified, water is still in it. Water is converted to steam when the temperature is increased. We cannot deny the presence of water in this. So this avyakta form, this water is throughout this. So what is happening? The water is also changing its form. It is coming. So ice, it's changing its form. It is coming into existence, dissolving, turning into steam, again coming into existence in the form of water, again creating ice. So this creation, it is in a form of a cycle. It is a very nature of water to come in cycles, create itself, and it is the nature of water to solidify and become ice, to liquefy or to vaporize and become steam. This is what the nature of the water. Similarly, it is by nature that these creations are happening and everything is being created. Parastasmatu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Tasmatu, now this is a little more serious topic, or little more deep topic actually. So far we have seen avyakta form is from the avyakta, from nothing. Brahmaji is creating the entire Srishti when his day begins. And when his night becomes, everything is getting dissolved. Now, it dissolved into what? Avyakta, that is unmanifested, subtle spirit. And again, from that subtle, unmanifested thing, this entire Srishti is created. Apart from that avyakta, there is a superpower, a supreme avyakta form which Shri Krishna is talking about. This we have to understand, that tasmatu anyaha bhavaha means apart from the avyakta into which the everything is dissolving and getting created, there is a power behind that avyakta form, which is what facilitating everything. Beyond, so how Shri Krishna is explained here, beyond the manifested and unmanifested forms that we have seen up in earlier shlokas, there is another unmanifested. It is more unmanifested than the unmanifested form. It is a supreme unmanifested thing that we are looking here, which is eternal. And what Shri Krishna said, avyaktaha avyaktat paraha sanatanaha. It is eternal. It is avyakta and it is beyond the manifested form that we were talking about. And how it is? It cannot be created or destroyed. Yes, sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Yes, sarveshu bhuteshu. Whatever creations are created, they are created from some avyakta subtle spirit. And the supreme power, which is different from the avyakta form, it is present in all those creations. Here Shri Krishna is talking about that Param Tattva, the Parameshwar Tattva. It is present in everything. Even in Brahmaji's night, this Tattva is the one which does not get destroyed. Nashyatsu na vinashyati. This will not get destroyed even when the pralay is happening. This is that Paramatatva that Shri Krishna is talking about, which cannot be destroyed even if somebody is trying to destroy it. Even on trying to destroy it, it is not going to get destroyed. We have seen waves of water. The waves are created and after a certain time they are destroyed. But the water is going to remain. Water is eternally going to remain. We think about the ornaments of gold. Gold fascination for everybody, isn't it? The gold ornaments, when they are liquefied, when they are melted, the ornament is gone. The ornament is destroyed. However, does the gold get destroyed? It does not get destroyed. Gold is the supreme power behind that ornament. From that gold only everything is going to, the new ornaments are going to get created or destroyed. This is the supreme avyakta form that Shri Krishna is talking about. It is equated to the Parampita Paramatma. Now we all know this Geeta Rahasya is written by Tilakji. This was written, this example, to understand this Param Tattva. Let us look at this example also. When Tilakji was in jail, There he has written this Geeta Rahasya, a very beautiful grantha on Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā he had written. Now, during the tenure of his, during his imprisonment, those papers got destroyed, and it was not in a readable form. When he came out of the jail, nobody could read it. It was not in a printable form. He said it is okay. He rewrote the entire grantha. He said, though the paper is destroyed, my emotions around that is same. Whatever has been inscribed on my heart, whatever is there in my heart, the thoughts that are there in my heart, those cannot be destroyed. That is eternal. That bhav is eternal. The emotions with which he has written was the power behind getting that grantha done, behind getting that grantha written. It was the supreme power which had inspired the creation of the grantha that he had written. Same thing that now for Tilakji, at least he was provided with paper. When Veer Savarkarji was jailed, he didn't even get the facility of having papers. When he wrote his literature, his beautiful literature, it was written on the walls of those prisons. And when he was freed from the prison, they washed off those walls. All the beautiful literature that was written on those walls, that was scraped off. It was washed off. But what was inscribed in his heart, that could not be washed off. There was no way that could be washed off. His literature also stayed for us to take inspiration from. So the supreme power, the supreme inspiration behind all those creation is eternal. This eternal bhav remains. Now, this bhav that we are talking about is what is that? Shri Krishna explains further. Avyakto kshara ityuktas tamahu paramangatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Avyaktaha aksharaha iti uktaha. This supreme power, which is the inspiration behind the entire creation, which is the power which is responsible for sustaining and holding all those creations, is called what? Call it by any name or no name, it is existing everywhere. And this, for the sake of our understanding, Shastras, to understand its different characteristics, it has been given different names. It is known as Avyakta. Something which cannot be manifested, which cannot be seen, or which cannot be observed around us. Aksharaha. Akshara means getting gradually destroyed. It is akshara, it cannot be destroyed. It is avyakta, it is akshara. And tamahu paramangatim tam aha paramangatim. It is the ultimate goal. Ultimately, in this birth of as a human being, only we can understand this supreme power. This is the only birth in which we can understand this supreme power. This is our ultimate goal. This is our ultimate destination. And once this state or knowledge is attained, there is no going back. Yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Once this is attained, there is no return. There is no need to come back in this human form. The understanding this is the basic purpose of our human creation. See, we all know how is the process of creating ghee. Ghee is created from milk. Once the ghee is created, it cannot be converted back to milk. There is no need to convert it back to milk. So once a human being understands that the bhav, the power present in him, the supreme superior power present in him, there is no need to return back to this body. And further describing this supreme avyakta form, Shri Krishna explains, Purushassa parah partha bhaktya labhyasvananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Purushassa parah partha bhaktya labhyastvananyaya. How do we attain this supreme power, supreme power's understanding? How do we attain the knowledge of this supreme power of this Parampita Paramatma? This can be obtained only by an unswearing devotion. Sa Purushaha Ananya Bhaktya Labhyaha. Ananya Bhaktya. Many times earlier in this level 4, we have discussed this concept of Ananya Bhakti. How is the Ananya Bhakti? When that is the only thing that you want. For example, a very busy businessman is talking to his child, and this child, the businessman is rich, filthy rich. He can buy anything and everything for his child. He asks, what do you want? You tell me, I'll buy it for you. Whatever you want, I'll buy. Video games and whatever he could think about. The child says, no, I don't need anything. I only need you. That is the apart from you, there is nothing else that I want. No matter how precious other things are, no matter how fascinating other things are, how engaging other things are, but I don't want anything else but you. This is the answer that this child is giving. That is how our bhav, that is the devotion that Shri Krishna expects out of us. Ananya Bhakti. And this is with Ananya Bhakti, with this kind of devotion, we can attain this supreme power. Yasya antasthani bhutani. Now there are two more characteristics about the supreme power which Shri Krishna has explained. One, it can be uttered. First thing, there are three important points in this shloka. First is, how do we understand it? How do we attain it? By Ananya Bhakti, by unswearing devotion, our devotion by which we don't want anything else but this Parampita Paramatma. Second thing that Shri Krishna is explaining about this supreme avyakta form, supreme power, supreme Paramatma is that yasya antasthani bhutani. It is the one that dwells in everything. Like we were talking about air. Air is everywhere and it has droplets which we don't notice. Similarly, the supreme power is everywhere, but we do not notice it. It dwells in everything. We see Ganga Jal. We take the water of Ganga. It is pure water. It is pious water. Does it have water alone? There are other things also. There are other things in the Ganga water also. So it is not just this, but there is supreme power in this Ganga water. That is why people go for Ganga Snan with full faith. They do Ganga Snan and seek blessings for themselves. That is a different topic. But the essence of this whole example is that it is present in the supreme power. Supreme Paramatma is present in everything. And Yena Sarvamidam Tatam, the one that holds everything together. So we all are living on this earth. Something is there which is holding on us on the surface. Now, by the virtue of the scientific studies, we know that it is called gravitational force. Now, gravitational force is just one of the examples, but around us, the Parampita Paramatma, with his superior powers, is holding the entire creation together. He's holding entire universe, entire creations that he has made together. He is holding it, and he is also present in all those creations. Further, he explains, Yatra kale tvanavritte mavrittein chaiva yoginah prayatayanti tankalau vakshavi bharatarshabha. Now, here we have seen about how this power is, how the Parampita Paramatma is. And we are now talking about the ending part, about how can a Jivatma, we know that he is present in each one of us in the form of Jivatma. How can the Jivatma attain this? How can unite with himself? We know that Tattva is within us and it has to be united back into Parampita Paramatma. Then we can be free from, it can be free from the cycle of death and birth. Now, there are two paths where it can go after the Jivatma exits from this body. Yatra kale tanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha. Now, here one thing we have to understand. This entire process that Shri Krishna is talking here about is about yoginaha, means yogi purusha, means those who are following meditation, who are on this righteous path, who want to get liberation, not the normal human beings who are just enjoying this world, enjoying the creations around them, coming here to enjoy the world, enjoy everything, and not bothered about getting freedom from this life and death cycle. Because for them, this is going to be a dukkhale. They have to come here and get involved in it. They have a long. This shloka, the further few shlokas are not about them. The shlokas that here Shri Krishna is talking about, the mukti that he is talking about, the exit of the soul that we are talking about, is about whom? The ones who are religious, righteous people, who are following this path, who are trying to attain the liberation from this cycle of life and death. Not the ones who are not bothered about it. For them, how will the exit be? The ones who are enjoying, for them the Yamdut will come, bring them back to this Dukkhalaya in whatever yoni they deserve to be in. As birth in whichever, as birth as whatever creature they deserve to be. However, this entire concept that we are looking into now is about the yogis. Even in the yogis, there are two ways in which the soul has two directions to go on, two different paths to go on. The first path is that is the superior one, where they unite with whom? The Brahma, to never to return back on in this universe again. And the second path is the one by which they will have to return back. Both the descriptions, as I told you, are of the righteous people. One is slightly higher than the other. So this is a description for sadhaks. For the non-sadhaks, they have to go into the lower worlds anyways. Now here Shri Krishna is telling you about the yogis who have utilized their birth for the rightful purpose. Here Shri Krishna in the further shloka is going to explain us about what? The time, about this path and these two directions that Shri Krishna has told about. Now in the further shlokas, the Shri Krishna first shloka is about the ones who depart never to return, and the next shloka is about the ones who depart but to return back in the universe. Agnir Jyotiraha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Jana Dhumo Ratristatha Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandrama Sainjyote Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Now, here Shri Krishna, when the body is explaining about when the body is left behind, it is believed that it is beneficial when the soul lives in what? Uttarayan. Uttarayan is the period starting from Makar Sankranti, when the sun is in the northern hemisphere. It is a better time. There is a bigger possibility of the soul attaining liberation. And not just Uttarayan, there are further few things. Agni, that is the presence of fire. Jyoti, there is yogic Agni, yogic fire in the body. There is Jyoti, that is the flame that comes when a yogi attains a certain level of meditation. Ahaha Shukla, when it is daytime, and Shukla Paksha. Now there are two. We know the entire month is divided into two halves, 2 fortnights. One is the Shukla Paksha and another is the Krishna Paksha. Shukla Paksha is the waxing phase, that is from Amavasya to Purnima, when the size of moon is increasing. We all follow the Hindu calendar, which is a lunar calendar. It depends on how the moon's size is changing from Amavasya, that is the no moon, till full moon. When the size of the moon is increasing, this is the waxing phase. It is the Shukla Paksha. In the Shukla Paksha, it is considered more pious, more good, more better for the soul to leave the body. And Krishna Paksha is the time from the Purnima till Amavasya, where the moon is shrinking in size. It is the waning phase, and in this phase, a soul leaving the body, it is not considered to be very pious. So, Agnir Jyotiraha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayana, and exactly opposite of this is what Dhumo Ratris Tatha Krishna. When there is smoke around, no Jyoti, no Agni, there is smoke. Ratri, that is night, and Krishna Paksha. It is the phase where the moon is becoming smaller and smaller in size, and the 6-month period that we were talking about is the Dakshinayan, where the sun is in the southern hemisphere. That is not considered very pious, because why? Gods are believed to be sleeping. If the soul exits the body at this time, then it is believed that those yogi will have to return back to this world. However, Agni Jyoti Raha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam, if the soul is living in this pious period, what happens? Tatra Prayata Gachanti, they will be united with what? The Brahma Tattva. So once it is united with the Brahma Tattva, there is no coming back. However, in the other, exactly opposite, they will have to come back. Now, this is a literal translation of these two shlokas. If we look at it a little more deeply, this Agni Jyoti Raha Shukla and Uttarayan, these phrases, along with Dhumo Ratri, Krishna Paksha, and Dakshinayan, these phases, they are also significant or indicative of what a mindset of a person when they are leaving. The mental state, you can say, the condition or the sthiti of the mind that the person is in. For instance, now let us look at this word Uttarayan. Uttarayan is a time, it is a brighter time of the year when the sky is clear. Just like the sky, how the sky is clear, the mind of the person from whose body the soul is leaving is also clear. It is also indicative of this state, of a clear state. Krishna Shukla Paksha. It is, the moon is in a waxing phase. It is getting bigger. It is an enlightening phase. Agni, Jyoti, and the daytime, the daytime. These all are symptomatic of what? Enlightenment. When the state in which the mind is, the soul is leaving the body, when the soul is leaving, if the yogi is in an enlightened state, he is going to attain the Brahma Tattva. And Dhumo, the smoke, the night time, Ratri, Krishna Paksha, or the Dakshinayan, these are symptomatic or symbolic of what? A little less, negative or not a very optimistic, a little pessimistic state of mind. This is representative of a little bit of pessimism. Now, and this kind of mental state, the yogi will have to return back to this state. Now, in the Dakshinayam, what are the weather also? How is the sky? It is cloudy. So clouds are indicative of what are symbolic representations of what? Samshay, that is doubts, not clarity of anything. In that kind of state, if a soul is living, it is not going to attain the Brahma Tattva. So these are also symbolic of the mental state and not just the literal translation we have to go around with. That one should understand. Shukla Krishne Gati Yete. Now the Gati means the process of going, the path of going. This path of going, let me read the shloka. Shukla Krishne Gati Yete Jagata Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yatyana Vrittim Manyaya Vartate Punaha. This entire path that was described in the 24th shloka, the one in which the people were, the yogis will attain the Brahma Tattva, that path itself is being referred to as a Shukla path. Why? Because it is the bright. Shukla is symbolic of bright. So Shukla path, that is the brighter path. And the Krishna path means the darker path, where the yogi will come back to this world. This kind of path. In both the paths, the marga are just, these are just verbal, nomenclatures given to them. In the Shukla path, what is going to happen? The yogi will attain a eternal state. It will unite with the Brahma, and there is no returning back. Anyaya vartate. But in the Krishna path, they will have to come back and return on this universe. They will have to get in this cycle again. However, what is Shri Krishna adding here? Naite sriti parthajanan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Means what? Though these both paths are having two different results, one is one is getting united with the Brahma Tattva, another is putting him back into this. Irrespective of the difference in these two results, what is happening? A real yogi is not going to get delusioned by these paths. Okay, they will go and come back. Even if they have to return, they will come back happily and continue with their sadhana. For they will not get delusioned by these. For them, it will not make any difference. Hey, Arjun is explaining, Arjun, in all time, be steadfast in yoga. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, you have to be, devoted to yoga. Only when you are in this state, you will not, which path you are going through, what is the gati, what is the end fruit that you are getting is not going to make any difference. For instance, an adult, in front of an adult, you give him, if someone, suppose I have 2 chocolates, and one kid comes and says, okay, can I have 1 chocolate of yours? And he said, okay, even if it is my favorite, I'll say, okay, easily take it. Now another one comes and he said, okay, I also want, even if I'm left without a chocolate and I have to go back to the shop and buy another chocolate, I'm okay with it, because I'm an adult. I have that understanding that, this is a small thing. Again, this duty can be, this is a very minute example, very simple, basic example I've given, only to understand how indifferent a yogi is going to be. It is not going to make any difference to him what is the result he is getting. If they will come back, okay, we'll do the sadhana again and we'll continue our journey on this righteous path. This is the beauty of the entire process. They enjoy the journey of sadhana, and irrespective of what is happening, what is the gati? Gati means what is the end result that it is coming to them. He is going to enjoy this. It's an example of this Chandrasekhar Azad. When Bhagat Singh, when he was being hung, he said, no matter, you hang me, I am going to come back and again serve this my mother India. So for them it is anything. They know we have to come back, do the same thing again, continue on this path. They will not get stuck in this illusion of birth and death. And in the end, Shri Krishna explains a very beautiful thing. And one important message that Shri Krishna has told is Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Now, for some, this one thing we should this one sentence we should again revisit. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. Yoga Yukta. Be steadfast. Yukta means always be in touch with yoga. Be constantly in yoga. When we say Gangaji is united with the sea, it is constantly in the process of union. We cannot say it is united and it has stopped the union. No, it is in a constant flow. That's how our sadhana should be. That's how our devotion should be. And how Sarveshu Kaleshu. All the time we have to be connected. Yoga ultimately means being connected to God. We have to be connected with God through all the times, and not at break at any point, or okay, today's sadhana, enough jap I have done today. Now there is I can take a break, watch some movies, and means for that particular time when you are watching movies or getting distracted, we are losing the connection with the God. Now suppose the person wants to reach from say Rishikesh to Delhi. Now person has walked few kilometers up till say some place Haridwar that they have reached, and then they say, okay, now I have reached, now few more hours journey is left, and they come back. Instead of let me take rest, and in the process of resting, they come back towards Rishikesh, and they have to resume this journey. They will have to travel more, isn't it? The distance is reducing from their destination. They have to travel back a little more, put in more efforts, and start all over again. So in this sadhana, in this journey that we all are on, if we get distracted, we are coming back a little bit. Okay, if we are not all the time connected to this yoga, we are going to come back in the journey and then again push ourselves. So the distance that we had crossed to reach our destination has reduced, and we have to cross that distance again. So if I have walked 5 kilometers ahead towards my destination of getting that Brahmapad, this is just for the sake of understanding. 5 kilometers is not a realistic thing that we're talking about. Only for the sake of understanding, if we have walked 5 kilometers closer to the destination, but by getting distracted and not being connected, again we come back 2 kilometers, again add 5 kilometers, the time that we are going to reach our ultimate destinations is going to be much, much longer. However, if sarveshu kaleshu, if we are connected to God, 5 kilometers continuously, we are going to get what? Always remain connected and reach our destinations a little earlier. So, yoga yukto bhavarjana. And in the end, Shri Krishna is explaining the merits of doing this. What are the benefits of being a yogi? Being yoga yukta means what? Be a yogi. At innumerable places, this definition of a yogi is explained by Shri Krishna. And what are the benefits of being a yogi? Vedeshu yagneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidau viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. What will happen? We all know from the little study of the scriptures that we've had so far, the righteous processes, the Vedic processes, the different scriptures that we follow, doing different practices, these entire practices of studying the Vedas, doing yajnas, following different austerities, doing tap, all these things are going to give us some punya phala. They are going to punya phalam pradishtam. They are going to give us some kind of benefits, some fruits, which is what are beneficial fruit, because it is what punya. Now these beneficial fruits we are going to get. However, whatever we are going to get out of these things, what you are going to get as a yogi is far more beyond these fruits that you are going to get by doing all these religious practices. Having known this process of yoga, you will attain this supreme abode, the fruits that you are getting as a yogi. Atyeti satsarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. All the other practices are going to give you what? The fruits, different results of your tap is going to be attaining God. As a yogi, what you are going to get is the param sthanam upaiti, the supreme abode a person is going to attain. One question that naturally arises here is, so should we stop doing all these things, Veda, Yajna, trying to understand the scriptures, tapa? Should we try to stop all this? Should we stop and just become yogis? If this is going to have a lesser benefit, then should we stop it? No, the answer is a big no. Why? Because becoming a yogi cannot be the first step. To become a yogi, to even try to becoming a yogi, the first step is do the Vedadhyan, whatever scriptures are there. Try to understand Bhagavad Gita. Try to understand. Do daily puja. Worship all the gods regularly. Unless these basic things are done, we are not going to have that emotion good enough to convert ourselves into a yogi. So all these practices which are explained by our scriptures, all these practices which are being described here, cannot be discarded because the fruit of being a yogi is considered superior. Become a yogi, so whatever you are going to get. Now the definition of yogi is very complicated. How a yogi will be is very beautifully described in very different chapters and different types of yoga. The entire Bhagavad Gita is all about yoga. We have to understand that, but before that, to get to a basic level of liking for all these topics also, we have to follow all these daily procedures. These are daily, and without the devotion we cannot win over God. To attain God, to attain anything, we have to win over God. To be able to attain this state of yogi, we have to have this first step. So do not misunderstand this shloka in any way, that in any way Shri Krishna is giving these as little less important. These are extremely important, but once you have a beautiful understanding of all these things and raise yourself to become a yogi, what will happen? You will attain the Brahmapad. And on that note, Shri Krishna then starts a different chapter altogether, which is going to dive towards bhakti. And before that, this chapter is ending here. Om Tat Sadite Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayā Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Akshara Brahma Yogo Namashtamo Adhyayah. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Whatever little I could talk here is all with the blessings of Swamiji and Shri Krishna. I offer entire dispose at the feet of Param Pujya Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj and Shri Krishna, with whose blessings we all have been able to discuss this chapter so far. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much, Didi, for your beautiful words and a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
So,
If there are any questions.
before we move on to a question and answer session, I have one announcement to be made.
Sure.
It is again about becoming a Geeta Sevi. So becoming a Geeta Sevi is the way to joy and happiness in our life. So let's know about your sector of talent and procedure to open your doors to seva and understand the roles and responsibilities of a Sevi. To know all these things, let's attend the tomorrow's session, which is 2nd July, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. in both the languages, English as well as Hindi. Okay, so I request all of you to please look forward for the session. And yes, I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's start with the question and answer sessions. So first we have Narayan Bhaiya for a question.
Jai Shri Krishna Narayan Bhaiya. Before you ask me a question, can I ask you one small question?
Definitely, Didi.
Were you able to hear properly? Because there are some people like that, they couldn't hear properly, can hardly hear. So was I audible? Because today I have some network issues. So, but yeah.
You were audible, Didi.
I was
Yes,
audible?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Thank you. That was the only question I had. Thank you.
My question is kind of this one. Related to 26th and 27th sloka. In 26th sloka, you explained the two paths, the Shukla Paksha and the Krishna Paksha way of soul leaving the body. And the 27th sloka, you mentioned that no matter which path a soul leaves the body, if it lives in the Krishna Paksha, next time when it comes back, it will it will not be disturbed, or it will be still confident that it will reach destination. But
I will tell you this. Yeah, so you are confused about it, that how it is not pained by coming back. Is that what you are trying to ask?
That's not the question. The question is, once you leave the body and then you take the punarjanma, you don't have any memory of the previous janma.
Correct.
In this case,
But the
when you
sanskar of the old birth are going to stay. See, we all are sitting here and learning Bhagavad Gita. Today, I am in Rishikesh and trying to listen to Swamiji and all this. This is some good deed we have done in the past, because of which out of millions and crores and millions of people in the world, that we are blessed to be in this kind of situation. How many people are attracted towards Bhagavad Gita? This is the sanskar that we have carried from our old births. Whatever we have earned in the old births, owing to that, we are blessed enough that, directly or indirectly, each one of us is being blessed by Swamiji. Each one of us has a blessing from Param Puja Govind Dev Guriji Maharaj. And we are getting this because of some sanskar that has been carried from the past birth. So even if there is no memory of the past birth, but the sanskar is there. So see, we know this story of Jad Bharat, right? He was a yogi. He was a king actually, and then he did meditation and he attained, the story of the fawn that we have discussed earlier. Even when he was born again as a deer, he had the memory, owing to his tap that he has done earlier. He could remember. He got a birth in the proper ashram, and then he could continue his journey. So it was like just a little bit coming back and then continue on the process of sadhana. The sanskars are going to be there. Now if we become Gita Vratis in this birth, the next birth maybe we will not remember the shlokas as we know now, but we will be attracted to that. We will have that passion to learn those shlokas again. Okay, that is important. I'm not tempted to give more, but yeah, very nice. Ji, Shrikant Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Actually, I wanted to ask the same question which...
Okay, if it is the same question, then I'll have a small example also for the answer. Swamiji keeps giving this example. It's the beautiful one. Shri Krishna, see, all those who have attained union with God. Now, even with them, Shri Krishna says, when the world needs, God is sending them to attain some purpose here. So he tells how, the saints are actually, they know Tukaram Maharaj. He says, we know that I was there and he has been sent here for some purpose. Attain that person, the purpose, finish the task that they had to do. And at a very young age, they proceeded back to their destination without getting involved in anything on this earth. So this is how divine the whole process is. So yes, so the sanskars will continue, and with the blessings of Paramatma.
Thank you, sir.
Surenji, please unmute yourself.
Yes,
Pranam, Jai Shri Krishna.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri
So I
Krishna.
refer to shlok number 17, where it is explained that at every 1 day duration of Brahma, which represents of 4 yugas, at the end of that 1 day, everything goes into night, everything is dissolved again. So Brahmaji also has his own lifespan, which is 100 years. So we will multiply 1 day by 365.
You multiply
365,
that one day with 360,
then 100
and
years.
then
So what
it-
happens?
Hmm.
My question is, what happens after the 100 years of Brahmaji's life cycle?
From the little knowledge that I have, really, I am not from this background. So whatever I'm going to tell you now is what I have heard from Swamiji. So
Yes, yes.
because I don't know the scriptures well at all. So from what Swamiji has told, when the span of one Brahma gets over, a new Brahma is appointed. A new Brahmaji is appointed, and what he will do, he will see what the older Brahmaji has done, and according to that, he will also create a new Srishti. When his span is over, a new Brahmaji will come. He will see what the previous Brahmaji has done. According to it, a new Srishti is created. So every time, every 100 years of Brahma, a new Brahmaji is appointed. By whom? The Paramatma. This is a process of appointment and all. Don't ask me, please. But every time a new Brahmaji is appointed, they do what the previous Brahmaji has done. They will see and they will do the same thing. This is what has been told by Swamiji in his lecture. And how many Brahmajis have existed so far, that also knowledge we don't have. How many are going to happen? There is no calculation for it, because it is a continuous process. Okay, just for a small example, as I told you, the breath, we don't know how many breaths we have pending, or how many breaths we have already taken. Just like that, there is no count of how many Brahmajis have happened in the past and how many more are going to come. It is a continuous process. Avashaha, there is no control over this. It is his Leela. It is his nature to create, and it's a play that the God is playing. It is his play. Like naturally, if a child comes, he'll pick up the toys and play. This is his natural swabhav, like that. This is the thing that is naturally being done by God, and every Brahma is going to come and do the same thing. So I hope that answers your question.
Can I?
He's saying something. 1 minute, I send you an unmute request. Ji.
Can I have a second question, Didi?
Yes, yeah, you can. There's no further questions. So you
So
can ask.
if I sloka which says yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajante kalevaram
Tyajatyante kalevaram
tyajante
tantameva iti
kalevaram
kaunteya
tantameva iti sada tad bhava bhavita.
atatthava bhavita.
So if at that moment in a time, at a time which is not fiery, which is not moonlight, at that time, if anybody remembers, let's say, Lord Krishna, so what happens? Does he reach the supreme destination, irrespective of the timing? Do you understand?
At that point, if he says yes, that is what the Shastras say. That if at the last minute you are saying that Krishna is he is very forgiving by nature. So he is going to accept everything. If at the last moment you are saying Hare Krishna, that bhav is going to be there. He says, I will free you from the shloka exactly. I'm not remembering now, but he says, I will free you from this thing if you remember me. Maman, forgot the shloka.
Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Is it this one?
No, I don't know.
Mami
I'm sorry.
vaishasi yukta vaivam atmanam parayanaha. It's in chapter 9.
I somehow not able to remember. I'm sorry about that. But at the last minute, if we have the memory of God, yes, He is going to liberate us from the cycle of birth and death. So,
I request if there are any other questions, please.
I hope your question is answered, Surenji. Okay. Pranam.
So, Didi, if there are no other questions, we'll move to the ending.
Yes, you can have.
Thank you so much, Shraddha Didi, for solving our dilemma of the life, and with a beautiful voice making this beautiful evening. Yeah.
We
it's
have
an
to have
honor to be present here. Sorry, did I interrupt?
No, please carry on.
It's an honor to be present here and get so much of enlightenment from Shraddha Didi. I would like to thank Geeta Parivar for creating a doors to the ease of living through this platform. Also, a heartfelt thanks to all the off-screen warriors for a smooth session. And last but not the least, all the listeners for your patience and enthusiasm. Thank you so much for being here. Before I bid you a goodbye, I would like to inform you about a grand starting of a new level 1 batch. Geeta Parivar is reaching its highest peak of love and success and encouraging a lots of Krishna Premis to learn and understand Geeta. So we all request you to share the banners. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, we all request you to share the banners and the messages to your friends, family, and colleagues so that no one is deprived of this beautiful divine journey. Everyone, goodbye is looked forward to a new meet. So to close this session by thanking the most beloved Lord Krishna, I would now like to invite Himja ji from Bangalore, who is a techno star for level 1 and a learner in level 2 since May 2023.
जय श्री कृष्ण योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दौ वासुदेवौ व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकौ वीरं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Thank you so much, all of you. Looking forward to meet you all in the next upcoming session of the interpretation of Geeta. Thank you so much and Shubharatri.
Hanuman Chalisa, we have to have a part of Hanuman Chalisa.
I'm sorry, I just missed it.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय
Jai Shri Ram. One small thing, everybody is requested to please install Ram Pratishtha app, and whatever part we have done after each revision, please update it. So 55 people in the meeting right now, 55 counts should get updated in Ram Pratishtha app. That's a small sincere request to all of you. That's it. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much, Didi. Thank you so much all the